Hello everyone, welcome back. I want to talk to you guys today about this Midwest upgrade I did on this Romanian AK-47 WASR. And basically this is the Midwest upgrade over here. And I have a Holosun red dot mounted on it. That's the one with the ACCS reticle. Basically the reason that I did this upgrade is because prior to this I had this rail on it, and basically this ended up breaking. The bolt broke, but even before that broke, I always suspected that this design was not a very good design, because even under perfect circumstances, I mean this design where it starts from here, comes up, and then loops around, and the rail sits on top. I mean, it doesn't seem like the best idea, because first of all, if I push hard enough on it, I mean, I can feel this move a little bit. So when you're shooting this, I can definitely see vibration and stuff possibly throwing this off. So I always suspected this was a flawed design. I think the best I ever got out of this rifle was maybe a 6 MOA, 6 inches at 110 yards that I shoot. So, but on average, I would get something like 8 inches. Now, don't confuse this AK-47 with another one I have that looks just like this. That one has the military stamp on it from the Romanian Army. This one does not. Okay, that doesn't mean that it's not as good. It just means that this one was never. It just was never inspected by the Army, the Romanian Army. Okay. So with this AK, like I said, on average, I would get something like maybe 7 MOA with it. And I always suspected that this was the problem. And now that this broke, basically I just, to get a good one from Midwest, it would cost me $100. And basically this cost me $100. And I decided that this was a much better design. I did a previous video on how this goes together. Basically everything clamps onto the barrel. So this is a very solid platform to mount a red dot on it. And I have the Holosun on it. It's a Holosun with the ACCS reticle. Okay, so basically I suspected that there would be an improvement in accuracy, and yes, there was. Let me show it to you. Now this is my best grouping of the day, and I wasn't having a very good day today because I was just having some difficulty adjusting to the recoil and the trigger of the AK. I mean, as somebody that shoots AR-15s a lot, when you go to an AK-47, there's adjustments that you have to make, and I was just having a hard time making those adjustments. But that said, this is my best grouping. This is at 110 yards, 2.75 inches. 2.75 inches. So inside of 3 inches. So the Midwest rail and being able to mount a red dot on a more solid base made a huge difference. Okay. Now, like I said, that was my best grouping of the day. I'd like to. I don't have time today, but in the coming weeks, I want to shoot this rifle a lot more and see if I can shoot that sub 3 MOA consistently. Okay. On average, this is more like what I was hitting today. Yeah. Basically, on average, I was hitting about 5.5 inches and with a 4-inch cluster. And like I said, I think that was more me, because I was having some difficulty adjusting to the recoil and the trigger of the AK today. One of the things that made a difference, basically when I got that 2.75 inch grouping, I had removed the cleaning rod. Okay, now the issue with this was that, if you recall in the prior video, there was a piece of plastic that went down here that I had to file down. Well, that piece of plastic prevented this cleaning rod from going in all the way, and I had to basically cut it off. Had to clean the cleaning rod a little bit to make this fit. Prior to me cutting it, I think that it was a lot more secure. Now, I mean, basically the only thing that holds it in place is the spring tension, because the rod basically bends a little bit like that. And there's a little bit of movement there. I suspect that this cleaning rod, basically it was interfering with the harmonics of the barrel. Okay, so that's one of the things for you guys to keep in mind. That if you have an AK-47 and you're shooting it, if you want to improve the accuracy, first try mounting your red dot to the on top of the gas tube. That's the first step. And secondly, try removing the cleaning rod if you have it on it, because that might be interfering with the harmonics of the barrel. Okay? But that said, I'm very happy. I got below 3 MOA on this, and that is in line with what you will get with AR-15s. I mean, if you compare now, this is a WASR AK-47. Basically, this is the economy AK-47. Okay, this is in the same category as, let's say, your Palmetto, which I paid like $350 for. Now this one, I believe I paid $500 when I bought it, but if you go back some 12 years, these things were going for about $350 too. So this is on par with an economy Palmetto, and basically they're both getting about somewhere around 3 MOA, 3 inches at 100. Like I said, I shoot 110 yards. So 110 yards is 100 meters, which is a lot of times people talk in meters, especially with AK-47s. When you look at the yardage markings on the rear sight, those are in yards, which is kind of important, because one of the things that I did is, since this had the ACCS reticle on it, which has the bullet drop compensator, one of the things I wanted to do is I wanted to compare the original AK bullet drop compensator to the one on the the one on the Hollow Sun, right? So what I did is basically the way the Hollow Sun looks, let me make it quick drawing. That's all right. It's an AK-47. It will survive. There. Okay, so. It's got writing on it. Let me get a clear paper. Okay, I'm back. So the ACCS reticle, instead of having a dot or a circle dot, it looks like this. You have a chevron. You got 1, 2, 3, then you got a horseshoe around it. So it looks like this. Okay, this is what your reticle looks like. You got a chevron, right? That's where basically you typically you zero this at 100 yards, and basically you have 3 dots, 1, 2, 3, and then you got a horseshoe around it, which the whole purpose of the horseshoe is for fast target acquisition. So that, like at the where you see these rims over here, that's at 30 yards. So basically, in the 30 yards, I would just put the horseshoe on it for fast target shooting. If you look at I don't know how well you guys are going to be able to see it, but if you look to the left, there's a target over there that's at 50 yards. To the right, I got 75 yards, and then in the middle, all the way in the back, that's 110 yards. So the way this is set up with this horseshoe is that this here is on the AK-47, on the AR-15 would be different, on the 22 it's different, on the 9mm it's different. Basically, this here is at 100 yards. The bottom of the chevron here would be at 250 yards. Then I believe that's like 350, 400, and 450. Okay, so this last one here is 450. I don't know, I might be off on those, but I know that the bottom one they tell you that is zeroed in for 450, or not, or rather, if you zero it here at 100 yards, that will zero in at 450. So, what I did is I compared that to, basically what I did is I raised this, I moved this. Now here's the thing though, if you put this at, let's say 450, and you compare it to that, it's going to be off, right? And the reason is because this is in meters, and that's in yards, okay? The ACCS reticle is in yards. So you got to do a conversion, and what happens is the 450 yard, the bottom one, which is 450 yards, translates into about 400 110 meters. So what happens is when you put this at about 400 and then you line the two up, you will see that they're not that far off. I mean, it's not perfect, but it's close. So, you know, and there's a number of things that would throw this off. For example, you know, what type of ammunition you're using, you know, how heavy your bullet is. But they're close. So that was something that I was interested to see how well that would work out. But if you decide to do that, keep in mind that the rear sight increments on an AK-47 are in meters, not yards. So you have to do a conversion. You know, at close distances, you know, they're pretty much the same, but at further distances, they make a difference. You know, basically 100 meters is 110 yards. Okay? So there's some thoughts on this. I mean, this Midwest, you know, this Midwest rail upgrade definitely, you know, was worth it. It definitely increased the not the value, but the performance of the gun. I mean, this gun never even did a 5 MOA, and here I have it, you know, sub 3 MOA. So this is definitely a winner for the $100. At some point I'm gonna, like I said, I have another WASR. That one's got the Romanian Army stamp on it. At some point I'm gonna upgrade that one. And this is the place where you want your red dot on an AK-47. You don't want it on that side rail. In fact, if I was in the business of selling AK-47s, I would only sell my AK-47s with a rail over here that will take a red dot on top of the gas tube. And the reason is that people would basically shoot my AKs and they would say, wow, this guy sells really accurate AKs. And the reason is just because there's a better platform. Okay, so it's worth the money. You know, I think that this should be standard. I mean, in this day and age, when they manufacture AK-47s, they should all come with this rail system or something similar set up, because basically today you gotta have a red dot and you gotta have a place to mount the flashlight. And this is a key mod system. The key mod is basically part of the reason why this was $100 is because the key mods are not as popular. If you get the M-Lock, the rail with the M-Lock, I think you're gonna pay maybe $140 or $150 for that. I mean, it doesn't make that much of a difference. They give you a free mount that comes with this kit. So if you know, basically, if you get the kit, you can, you know, basically you can mount your light on it immediately the same day without spending anything extra. They also did give you some grips, some plastic grips that will go on top of this, because this might get hot if you're shooting a lot. I didn't like the plastic grips. I didn't like the way it looked. I didn't like the way it feels. So I'm just gonna keep it like this. I like it. It just feels nice, and you know, it feels really good. It feels, you know, lean and mean. Very happy with this upgrade. I knew I would be because I already did this on my Yugo M92 on the AK pistol. Did a previous video on that, and I was very happy with the results. That one's actually a better performing gun. I think the Serbians, right, make a better gun, because that one shoots 3 MOA, but that's got an 8-inch barrel. Okay, this one has a 16-inch barrel, and it's shooting just a little bit better than 3 MOA. So it's still good, but you know, when you compare the two, the one, you know, and then you see that the one with the 8-inch barrel, the Serbian one, is shooting almost just as good as this one. You're like, wow, that's a really good gun. So there's some thoughts on that. If you have any comments, please post them. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up. Talk to you guys next time.